Good morning, or is it afternoon for you? Anyway, this is my project for today. I want to make one of these birds, okay? It involves, 3 spoons and 2 forks and some kind of base. I got to look for a base, so let me see what I can come up with. And then we're going to put it all together and weld it together and see where it goes, all right? Okay, so this is what I could come up with. Some kind of channel, pretty heavy stuff. I'll probably cut it, I don't know, maybe 2.5 inches. Yeah, so let's do that. All right, looks like I'm gonna have to cut this end because it's not square. Then I'll cut it 2.5 inches. That'll work for me. All right. It's not the best blade I got, but I'm trying to wear it out so I can put a new one on there. I do have one. I just gotta wear this one out, finish it off. All right. Okay, next thing we gotta do is clean it up a little bit. So see, I tried to weld on it at one time. All right, she's ready to go. All right. Okay, one mistake I made is I already bent this, but I forgot to take the paper off, which is, I bought these at the dollar store. So yeah, you gotta make sure you get all the paper off before you start, because then you're stuck with it. So I'll go on the wire brush and take all this stuff off. So you make sure you clean them up before you go. These are like $1.25 for 3. So yeah, works for me. But like I say, I already bent this, and there was paper underneath here, so yeah. All right, and by the way, these bend really easy. I did it by hand, so yeah. Why does it keep jumping around? Yeah, they bend pretty easy. You just do it by hand. Be careful so you don't kink it or whatever. So yeah. Okay, you're probably wondering how I'm bending these. I'm sure it's not going to be easy. I'm trying to hold this so it's make a perfect. That's not going to do it either, is it? No. I guess I'm going to have to take it over here a little more. Closer to the edge, and then try to turn it. All right, here we go. I'd have to do it this way. This is how I bent it right there. Okay. Okay, so what I've done is I've marked it. I'm going to go ahead and cut it right there where the marks are. And yeah, I'll have to make some adjustments later once I get it all cut and welded. So that's number 1. One's longer than the other one, but that can be fixed. Okay, I went ahead and cut this. This is going to be my stand. Okay, I bent this, but it's too far out. I wanted it closer in the center. So I cut another one, or I bent another one, which is the extras from these forks. So yeah, I'm going to use that to hold it up. And yeah, see what happens. Now I got to weld it together. So let's get the welder together and we'll weld it together to start. All right, I'm ready to weld it. I'm gonna TIG weld it. Here's my welder. I'm gonna turn it on. Probably take it down to maybe 85. Doesn't have to be that hot. Roughly in there somewhere. Okay. Oh yeah. Let's try that and see what happens. Okay, I'm really low on gas, so hopefully I can do this whole job without having to go and get some more gas. So we'll see what happens. Alright. Alright, close your eyes. I'm going to do this. Alright, here we go. Alright. Guess I'll weld the sides too, because I can. Alright, so now I'm going to weld this to this. And this is basically what they got here. A big spoon underneath, and that's going to be the beak. So yeah, I can always bend it back or do whatever I need to do, but right now I'm just going to go ahead and weld this together if I can focus on it. All right. Okay, well, I turned it down to 65 because now you got two thin metals where before we had this. Why does it keep jerking? I hope it's not. Why does this thing keep jerking on me? I don't know. The video keeps jerking. All right, so let's go to the next step. Okay, I'm ready to weld the forks together, but I'm going to turn it down some more. I'm going to turn it down to 60 because it looks like they're still too hot. And then we'll go from there. All right, let me weld this and I'll show you the results. It's still a little warm at 60, but yeah, you want it as low as you can so that you don't melt the metal. It's not as pretty inside, but you don't see it. So now I can put it in there and bend them as I need them. I think I'll have to bend them out a little bit. So yeah, that's gonna go in here. So yeah, let me get the next thing ready and then we'll take it from there. All right, so this is what I got. Now I can bend those forks out when I'm ready. They'll need to be bent out. So right now I'm just gonna weld it and then we'll do whatever bending it needs. But yeah, it's getting there. It's gonna go like this. Oops, underneath, sorry. Underneath like that. All right. I don't know why this camera keeps jerking around. I think it's trying to focus and it's going in and out every time I move or do something, and see, like that. So yeah, that's driving me crazy. So all right, okay, I got it welded both sides. There's a guy on TikTok who was welding these with an arc welder, which I thought, God, he's got to have that thing really low. I would definitely melt this if I did that with an arc welder. So if you got a TIG welder, it's the best. All right, so let's finish this up. Okay, I'm ready to weld it. Not as easy as it looks, okay? I'm gonna weld it on this side and the other side. So yeah, it's gotta look like this eventually. But I'll show you a better picture that I took off the internet, and I'll show you what it should look like. But yeah, for right now, let's go weld that part of it. Pain in the butt, but it's fun. Okay, now that I've got this on, I'm going to put this up here somehow, but I also have to put an eye on them, like right there. But I'm going to probably use a washer, and yeah, it'll come together here in a minute. You'll see. But I do have to put an eye on that puppy. All right, let's go find an eye. Okay, I think I'm going to use these things. What I'm going to do is I'm going to weld them together, which won't be easy. Excuse my old hands. Yeah, first I'm going to weld this together, and then I'll weld it to the spoon, and hopefully it'll come out the way I want it to come out. It's not going to be easy. I said that already, didn't I? But you can use anything. You can use a washer. Looks like I'm not sure what he used over there. It looks like a big blob, but whatever. All right. Okay, I decided to use a washer in between so that it'd be easier to weld, because I'm going to have to be real careful not to penetrate that metal and burn it or put a hole in it. So yeah, I'm going to try to weld it right to this washer, that don't work, we'll try something else. Okay, well, I took the welder down to 35. Yeah, just so I could weld this together. So it's not going anywhere. Definitely not going anywhere unless somebody pries it off. And then what I'll do is I'll weld where it's been welded. I'll weld that on the spoon. I'll weld that on the spoon like that. So now I just got to figure out how I'm going to hold it there. So I'll probably use a magnet. I've got magnets. I can hold it there just long enough for me to tack it. So, okay, so this is going to be the hardest part of the whole project, is to get right. Oops, let me, hold on. Oh, let's do that. Okay, I put, there's a super steady setting on this camera. Okay, so right in there, I got to go in there with my TIG right there and weld it. And hopefully I can do it without melting anything. So yeah, wish me good luck. Okay, that part was not easy, but I got it on both sides. So yeah, all right, so now I got to shape it so it looks like a bird. Oops, it looks like a bird somehow. All right, just wanted to show you my gas. Even though it's set at 25, it really comes down to about 20 when I turn on the welder. But this is definitely at 0. It's been at 0 for a while now, so yeah, if it stays there long enough for me to finish my project. I like to empty them all because they're so expensive, so I'll just keep going until there's absolutely no gas. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, and I'm going to go weld that the eyeball. All right, this switch here turns on the solenoid. It used to be automatic with the welder, but what I've done is I've added a solenoid on this, and I've got a video on that so that I don't waste gas, okay? So the minute I'm done with the welding, I turn it off. You can hear it, watch. Hear it? Whoop. I've got a magnet on here to hold it up. Okay, so much for that one, right? All right, it's starting to look like a bird. So now I'm just gonna weld this together and then shape it when I'm done. See, they're still full length right there. So yeah, let me weld this together and then we'll work on the shape. But I think it's almost there. If you look at that one. Yeah. All right. Okay. So in case you're wondering, I'm using silicone bronze, okay, which is a very low heat rod, so it makes it easier. But now I just got to cut it and shape it to look like that. All right, so let's cut it first and then we'll shape it. All right, well, it's basically all done. I think I'm going to paint the base maybe gold, but yeah, it's done. It's definitely done. It is what it is. Yeah, if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, don't forget to hit the comment button, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and tell me what you think. I think it came out pretty good. The beak was the hardest because I messed up the beak. I tried to grind it on each side and I ground one side way too much, so I had to build it back up with weld, and then at the end do a little sanding, grinding, whatever. But yeah, I think it came out pretty good. Here we go. Here's a better picture. All right, another job well done.